Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to American Legends and Myths with Leo and Shaky. This week we're going to talk about the Bell Witch. Uh, there's a lot of controversy over the Bell Witch, and we do know it's one of the bigger legends in American folklore, and it does have a foundation of truth, and we're going to discuss it this evening. So, there is storms coming up the coast, and I know my internet's acting up. I'm getting notices about my internet flash on the screen, so please bear with me if the audio cuts or whatever. We're going to do the best we can with this, and I hope everybody is safe where the storms are hitting. So without further ado, Leo, let's get this on.
Okay, and I'm on the coast, and I agree. Let's hope everybody stays safe from Florida on up and through the next few days. Um, the story of the Bell Witch, from what I have seen, heard, and researched, there was a man named John Bell. Um, he and his family lived in western North Carolina, but they moved over to eastern Tennessee
Right.
in the 1817. I've got it right
I
here.
thought
Something.
it was like 1805 or something on it. It was like the early 1800s, real early 1800s.
Yep, you're right. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. It was 18. It was like 1804.
Yeah, it was real early 1800s.
Yes, yeah, you're right. I was wrong on the 17. Um, and he moved his family there and became prosperous in the area. And sometime in the next number of years, um, he made a land deal with his neighbor, which by neighbor not living next door, but the next farm over or whatever. And somehow her name was Kate Batts. And she accused him of cheating her and went to the church with it. And from what I can tell and what I have seen, that is a real fact. He was an elder in the church, and the church, I believe, did um, reprimand him
Hmm.
that he had not done her squarely. Um, and so it was in the years after that that the hauntings or whatever we want to call it began. And he blamed Kate Batts for cursing him, whether she did or not. It was all kind of put on Kate Batts. And it was John Bell began to get sick, and his daughter Betsy, I believe she was the oldest daughter, but his daughter Betsy began to have, I guess, poltergeist kind of activity in the night, pinching her and poking her and scaring her and whatever. And it went on a year or so, and they went to the church or found a pastor and tried to, I guess, exorcise the house. I don't know if at that point they thought it was a demon or just a ghost but I think in the long run it was always blamed on Kate Batts. That she had cursed them or something. But it went on for years until John Bell, which they say a poisoning, but back
Well, his son was supposedly kept some kind of journal, but the journal was never found or ever seen the sad thing is anybody that ever witnessed this is dead, and anybody that's second to witness it or the second to the story is dead
is dead
too.
too.
And
Now I don't. Maybe Betsy kept a journal. I don't know, or maybe her mother. But legend, we have the facts, and then we have the legend.
Yeah, I wish my computer could pick this up. There's a whooping going on over here on the side of the mountain. It's really cool. And I wish my computer could pick it up, but it's real faint, but you can hear it. I think that's why my dog's barking.
Oh man!
I got a recorder. I should bring it out here. I don't know if it would pick it up, but I can hear. I just hear it. I don't mean to interrupt, but it's really kind of cool.
It's fine.
It's really cool, but
Do you want to
I'm gonna get the recorder out here this weekend and
hit
try to pick.
recorder?
I'm gonna get it out this weekend and try to see if I can catch it, but it's definitely not an owl. I think it's my hairy friend's back, and it's why the dog's agitated.
That would be cool, Steve.
Yeah. I'm sorry about the barking, everybody, but I think he's irritated because it's moving over here to my right. So. Anyway, we'll get back on the subject.
Man, that's more exciting. Okay, I'm gonna why don't you yell and ask somebody in the house to bring the recorder?
Tommy's back here playing video games and whatnot. I'm not gonna bother.
Okay, well, this is the legend. So, like I said, this isn't the facts, although there are facts in the legend, but this is the legend. And that's there, legends and myths. It says in the late summer of 1817, members of the family began to see strange-looking animals around the property.
Yeah.
And hearing strange knocking on the doors and the outside walls late at night. And later there were sounds heard like rats gnawing on the bedposts and things.
Yeah.
Which apparently they woke up and looked and there wasn't a rat at the bedpost.
Well, he did see a creature, didn't he?
Oh,
It was half.
well, yes.
It was half dog and half rabbit or something, or he opened the door. It was scratching at the door, if I remember correctly, and there was a creature at the door that was a half dog and half rabbit or some kind of weird looking creature. I remember reading about.
I'm not sure about that. Now, I know in the movie, which is called An American Haunting.
Oh, that was the Keith Sutherland, wasn't it?
It was Donald Sutherland.
Oh, Donald. Okay.
And Sissy Spacek.
Oh.
played John Bell and his wife. And in the movie, it was a wolf, more of a wolf that changed, disappeared, reappeared, or changed, or whatever. But we also have to remember that the movie is a lot of dramatization.
Yeah.
You know, they fill in the pieces and parts, and that might not go along with the true story or even the legend of the story. But it was a very good movie. In the legend it says they did see strange looking animals and strange knockings and outside, and then the sounds of rats gnawing on the bedposts. Which I was going to say, I assume you would wake up and they didn't see a rat, or so maybe they would have reported that as or there wasn't any chew marks on the bedpost or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, oh, and also they heard chairs being drug on the floor, and
A lot of poltergeist activity.
yeah, stones being dropped on the floors. And then it proceeded and got worse, where they were hearing gulping and choking sounds, which is how John Bell ended up dying. Was a thing in his, something or another in his throat and his breathing.
Oh, really? I thought he had a heart attack. No kidding.
Well, he had
Well,
had
not till he died, but
a breathing choking kind of an ailment. I think, and maybe that perhaps has to do with the thought that maybe he was poisoned.
huh?
Um,
Now, where does this cave come in? Did this woman live in a cave or something, or why is there a cave involved in this now?
okay, the cave is the property is near the Red River. In Tennessee. It's what is the name of the town? I know I got it right here. But the Red River is near, and it's in Robertson County, along the Red River. And I know I have the name of the town. I'll find it in a minute. But
I remember it. I can't remember it either, and I knew it. I didn't know it.
the cave is on the Red River, I guess, up the bank, and but near the river there. And for years, people have reported strange happenings in the cave. And they have a tour through there now, and I guess have for some years. Where you can go and I don't know, pay a few bucks or whatever, take you on a tour.
Ghost
And
Adventures did an investigation in that cave. I remember that show from a couple years back, and I don't remember the outcome of it, but
yes,
I remember them doing that show.
well, I think that was the show. If we're thinking of the same one, was called Curse of the Bell Witch.
This was a team of
And
Ghost Adventures, a team of ghost hunters. They went in there and tried to find paranormal activity to see if it was haunted by the Bell Witch, and it's
um,
on I think Travel Channel is who goes to, you know. network that did their show.
It was Travel or A&E or
Pretty sure it's Travel.
National Geo.
Uh,
But yes, there was a show that was there were 5 episodes of a show called Curse of the Bell Witch, and it was a fellow who is a descendant,
oh
a
wow.
direct descendant of the Bells, and supposedly every firstborn male, or if the firstborn was a male, would die.
No kidding.
And they had for 100 or more years, great great granddaddy had got crushed by a load of logs, and then great granddaddy had gotten, I don't remember, killed in a train wreck, or I don't remember exactly, but they had a number through the years of firstborn males and that had died mysteriously. I remember one had just kind of freaked out and gone out in the desert and stayed a year or two and died out there. And this fellow was, I think, a police officer or an I think he was a police officer or something of that type, and his buddy was retired investigators or whatever. And this guy had the firstborn son in this generation. So he wanted so that was what the show was about. He and his investigator friend went to see if they could unravel the mystery and stop the curse. And yes, and they did. They took.
You're breaking
They
up on me. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
They talked to the lady in the library of the town who went through all the old papers, and they went to the old cemetery, to the old home place, and this and that. And there were a couple of different things that they found. One was that the or
Lost signal.
more
There we go.
maybe in the time, maybe it was in John Bell's time before they built the bigger house. They found the kids had found some Indian ruins.
Huh.
I don't remember if it was bones or exactly what, but had found in the yard and picked them up and did whatever with them, and that it had upset the Native American um,
That's not
spirits.
good. Yeah, I've heard. You hear a lot about that too.
Yes, and that is where I think the cave comes in.
Wow. Okay.
Is that the watcher, the caretaker, the overseer, whatever you'd like to call it, of the Native American spirits in that area is in that cave, and
I thought maybe the old lady got evicted or something and had to move into the cave and started
I
doing the brewing and the concocting and started doing her voodoo shit, man, and started casting the spells in the cave or something.
well, they've always blamed it on Kate Batts, but I think now, and if there's any validity to the show that was on TV, and they went and talked to Kate Batts' descendants,
Oh yeah.
and no one had ever bothered to go and ask them what they thought. They had just always, for 100 and whatever years, 200 years, just been. They were the Bats, and that was Kate Batts' descendants, and
She was Hattie.
she was a bad witch and whatever.
So whatever happened
Nobody
to
had
her?
ever. She died.
She wasn't hung as a witch or nothing. They didn't hunt her down or nothing like that.
No, no,
It seemed
no.
like back in them times, that's like the Salem. That's another thing I'm sure we're gonna get into is the Salem thing. But
Yeah,
it's like back in them times, they thought you were a witch. They strung you up or burnt you at the stake and shit. They didn't play. It's
exactly.
crazy, man.
And but Kate Batts, no, she lived out her life
Oh,
and died. And in fact, she died before John Bell died.
oh really?
So if she had something to do with his death, she did it in her death.
Well,
But
he died relatively young too. I don't think he was very old when he died. I don't know, 40 something, maybe.
he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't very. Maybe in his 50s. But no, it boils down to now. Chances are she didn't have anything to do with it. But who knows? That's the mystery.
Then there was a story about one of the presidents, Andrew Jackson, maybe. That was supposedly this is supposedly
Yeah.
went out
Yes.
there, heard about it, was intrigued, and went out there to investigate, and he left
Yeah.
there in
See,
fear. And,
never go back.
you don't know if it's, I don't. That was a story. You don't know how true it is, but that was a story that supposedly had happened, and
I have
any evidence of it. But
it written down here. Yes, Andrew Jackson had heard about it and went. And I think he and some of his men spent the night along the Red River. And had such weird experiences that they moved right on out. And he did say that it was the weirdest thing he had ever experienced, and he was not going back.
you know what I noticed about this story? It does have something in common. When you talk about these poltergeist activities and these hauntings like this, being there's a river involved, it seems like whenever whenever there's something majorly like that, there's always water involved in it. They just did this thing about Shepherdstown here in West Virginia, and it was a river, there's the Potomac River, and the water ran through the middle of Shepherdstown. There's water was involved in it. There was
Yeah.
issues somewhere else along the Mississippi, and it was the river, and it connected the water connected something to it. It just seems like the water. There's something about water being involved with hauntings or something. It's weird.
David Paulides talks about with all the missing people in state parks and that type of thing, that 8 out of 10 times or whatever they are lost or found by water.
Huh.
And whether they were near water when they got lost or vice versa, a lot of times they're found at water. Whether it was uphill, downhill, 3 miles away, or David Paulides is that's some very interesting, deep stuff. That missing 411, I'll give him a.
And it's getting off our subject, but I tell you, and it'd make for a good show. Uh, there in Japan, there's a suicide forest. A lot of people go there, and I'm telling you, I believe we have it here in the United States. I think a lot of people go into the national forest here, and I think they just go way down in the forest and commit suicide, and that way it's just they just disappear. They're done. There's nothing there to worry about. And
I've heard about the suicide forest, and
I
that
think
would make a good show.
even though it's Japan, but I think it happens here. I think, in my personal opinion, that's where a lot of people go. I don't, as far as missing people. I can't speak for little kids and them, but I mean, I think a lot of adults.
That was going to be my point, but for the little kids,
Um, but you got a lot of big predators out there too. You got bear, you have mountain lions, and then you have human predators also. And we were talking in another show I was in. Right here in the Washington D.C. in the Washington D.C. area, there's 25 active serial killers working right now. Right now, so why couldn't one of them be on the Appalachian Trail? You get these young girls walking it together or singly, and he could be working up and down that trail, just picking them off into the woods, and you just don't know. It's sad. You don't know.
I agree, and there's so much. People think, well, with Bigfoot, oh, there's not enough land for Bigfoot and their families to live in. Yes, there is. And there's also enough land that, yes, a serial killer could pick somebody up, do what they want to with them, and chunk them off a cliff,
Yep.
and nobody would find them forever, or 25 years, or
years later.
Years
later.
So I agree. It's just, and also, what do we know about John Bell? Did a couple of his kids find a Indian bone or Indian something and take it and think, what the heck's this, and chunk it and inadvertently
they could have brought something more they didn't want.
Or whatever, and we just don't know. But that's the mystery, and for it to have gone on this long, usually when things last so long, there is some basis.
Yeah.
It can get blown way out of proportion and all of that, yes, but
Hollywood has a way of taking things and making, the movie Tombstone, that is so far off from the truth. It's a great movie. Don't take me wrong. I love the movie Tombstone, but it's so far off from actually what happened. It's not even funny. It's not even near the truth.
Exactly.
There was a fight. The gunfight happened at those people out. But other than that, I mean, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. Hollywood will get something, and they will make something so much different out of what it is to make the money. And and they have a legend here that they can take and make it whatever they want to make it, and make off of it.
If you haven't seen An American Haunting, is the name of it.
Yeah. I think I saw it a long time ago, but I don't
know. It's been out, I don't know, 10 years or something maybe. But and you can, I told you my Netflix.
Yeah.
You're welcome to just play with it and you'll figure it out. How to search for what you're looking for or how to find or whatever. And I'm not sure if it's on Netflix, but a lot of things are. Or if you see it in the movie rental or whatever. It's a good darn movie, but we know that it's not the truth. It could be, it might not be. We just know that a few facts are correct and the rest is filled in.
Back then, that man could have Jewed that woman out of something, and that woman could have said, "Curse you, John Bell," and someone overheard it and said, "That woman's a witch," and she cursed him, and that legend just exploded from there. Poof.
He could have psychologically brought it on himself.
Yeah.
Because some people do when, if they're afraid of a curse or this or that, they worry, and they end up cursing themselves when there was no curse to start with.
Well, also back then they made their own bread and stuff, and it was found out that when they made wheat and it went bad, it caused them to hallucinate and have other issues.
Yeah.
So you don't know you don't know if what they were seeing was actually true or not. They could have been eating bad food that caused them to see things they weren't seeing, or who knows.
Well, and I know the name of that, and I cannot think of it right now. That is what they talk about from the Middle Ages, where perhaps werewolves and that type of thing, that people were eating, mildewed and moldy wheat and in their bread, and gave them hallucinations. And but you would think this family was supposed to be fairly prosperous and have some money, have a big house, have that I don't know. But along in the legend is that a bottle of medicine showed up on John Bell's bedside table, and nobody knew where it came from, something. And they gave, I don't remember if they gave him a drop first. Let's see. Said that he felt like he was being choked a lot. And sometimes like he had a stick crossways in his throat. And this was toward the end. And the things happening, that was John Bell getting sicker. And that Betsy, the daughter, it was getting worse for her too, that she was being punched and her hair was pulled and scratched and coming up with bruises like she'd been beaten and whatever.
Well, apple seeds are poisonous. They contain arsenic.
Yes, they do.
So who's to say that someone didn't poison that man? They could have poisoned him, and very well they could have poisoned him. To me, it sounds like when your throat starts swelling up and you can't swallow, and sounds like to me someone's putting something in you that you shouldn't be getting.
Somehow, I read somewhere that the bottle of medicine, little dropper of medicine, showed up on his bedside table in some of what I was reading. And I wish I could remember it more clearly. I didn't jot that part down. But that I don't know if John took it or if they gave him a dose of the medicine or what, but said they gave it to the cat. They gave a drop to the cat, and the cat was dead in 10 minutes or something.
That would tell me something right there. I wouldn't take it.
Well,
That's like that movie Indiana Jones. Remember the monkey? You know, they gave Indiana Jones some food and he gave it to the monkey, and the monkey was dead within a couple of minutes, and he knew not to eat it.
let's say they threw somebody in the family, in the group, whatever, threw that bottle in the fireplace, and when it busted, it came up all different color flames. Now, in that Curse of the Bell Witch little series, they went and talked to a chemist.
Yeah.
And she figured out what was available at that time that they could have used, and what was what different things would make different colors and whatever. It's a very interesting. Excuse me.
Usually, oxygen has a lot to do with the color of a flame or nitrogen. You know what I mean? The oxygen and nitrogen, the
Well, yeah,
gases have a.
and well, she went through and picked out what would make these colors when busted and thrown into a fire, and it was highly toxic, but I can't remember offhand. I was going to watch the 5 episodes, but school started, and it's very interesting. Whether all of it's true or not or whatever, but um, the whole story is just so darn intriguing, interesting. The story of the caves. Oh, and they did. I did run across we were talking about earlier, where they you can go now and take tours through the caves and whatever, or through the cave, and that a lot of people take pictures in the cave on the tour, and a lot of them get their pictures back correct of what they took their pictures of. And a lot of people get black pictures or bright white pictures with nothing in it. And that also, a lot of people, when they come out of the caves and go to leave, their cars won't start. And I think they do start eventually, but the cars won't start for a while. But you know what that reminds me of is that where they say that spirits drain your batteries
Green energy.
for their energy and that kind of thing. Like if you're ghost hunting or even Sasquatch hunting, and all of a sudden your ready, charged, 100% battery goes dead for no reason. But then in a little while, it might come back. So I don't know, but I thought it's an interesting story for us to discuss.
If you go back and look at most of the legends that we have in our society, there is something that started that legend.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that started it.
Exactly.
It may have grown into a lot more than what it was, but there's always some kind of foundation for it to have
Exactly.
started with. You know.
Exactly. There is some reason where it started. There is, there is some truth back
I
at
believe
the bottom.
witchcraft. I believe witchcraft is real. I believe that people There are some people that know how to work it, and I truly believe that. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a dangerous thing to get involved in, But I do believe it's real. I've heard of things that have happened. The guy here in Maryland, I don't want to say his name. I mean, it's not a secret or nothing. But he's wicked and he did a spell. And damn, he didn't win the Mega Millions. No.
Wow.
There's a famous heavy metal guitar player and singer in the band. And when he was younger, he had a problem with the guy. He talked openly about it. And he did this spell on the guy, and it dang on if it didn't happen to him. And he felt so bad that it happened. It's
Wiccan is white witch, white magic, love of the earth, love of peace,
I think everything
love of love.
has a black side.
It's
Everything has a black side, though. Everything, I don't care if there is good to something, there has to be a bad side to it. God, look at Aleister Crowley. Look what he
that's
was.
the other side of Wiccan is
That dude was evil. Aleister Crowley was known to be the wickedest man in the world at one time. He lived back in, I think, the 40s or something, or died in the 20s, 30s, 40s, something like that. He was Satanist, big time.
I've just never, ever, ever. Why in the heck would anybody go that route? It just befuddles me.
People practice it every day.
I know they do.
I look at it this way. I'm going to die one day. I know it's going to happen. There's nothing I can do to change it. And one of two things are going to happen. Either it's going to be lights out and there's nothing there, nothing to worry about. This is done. Or my faith is going to hold true and I'm going to be standing in front of somebody and just hope and pray that what I've done on this earth, that I'll be forgiven for. One way or the other. But I'm not going to take my chances in that crap. I'm sorry. If you want to do it, go more power to you. I can't. I'm not going to try it. You know what? I'm the type of person that I would try to do a spell and it would backfire. I mean, like that one kid on Harry Potter that would blow himself off every time.
Bless your heart. I just
Oh, crap.
I'm not against Wiccan. They want to, love the moon and the sun and the earth. That's cool, long as you aren't hurting anybody. Do what you want to do. And that's fine with me. But as for me, I believe in Jesus and that's it. That's all. And, whatever. But
Neville Longbottom. That would be me. Neville Longbottom. I guarantee every time I wave a wand, I would blow up myself. That's just fun luck, I swear.
bless your oh Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? I loved my comment the other day when you were talking about another dimension, and I said I thought you already found dementia.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
Yeah, I felt
But, I reckon that's if anybody wants to find out about the Bell Witch, you can check it out online. There's information, tells you where to go, what you can do, and and I wish
it's
school this week.
it's definitely another great legend. It's definitely that,
It definitely is a
and
great story, a great legend, myth.
and that's one thing about America. It hasn't been here that long. You think about it, America's been here several hundred years, and and
Yep,
we have our legends. And it makes things great to have legends. It really does, because that mystery. If we didn't have these mysteries in our life, what would our life be like? It would be boring as hell.
exactly. You know, it's like a hidden object game. I love a hidden object game just to look and look and look and see if I can find the teapot and the shoe and the iron or, whatever. It's fun to try and figure out. Even if you don't figure it out, it's fun to keep trying.
Well, some legends will never be figured out. They'll never be solved. It's just the way it's going to be. You know, it's just, the ones that know
Exactly.
the truth are long gone, and that's just the way it is.
Exactly. But as we have said before, Steve, God will reveal all in His time. Not our time, His time.
So, folks, please understand that we're not experts by any means on any of what we talk about. We research things. We're just bringing it to everyone's attention in these YouTube videos. It's entertainment, maybe a
Yep.
little bit of our history lesson. It's maybe you learn something, maybe you don't. Maybe you get a laugh out of it, maybe you don't. It's something. It's something we enjoy doing. We hope
It's
you
just
enjoy watching it. It is
it's
what it
just
is.
us two talking.
It's something it's enjoyable. If you enjoy stuff like this, it's enjoyable.
And folks, we might bring up something you've never heard of. Maybe some of you've never heard of the Bell Witch. Go look it up. If that's the kind of thing you're interested in, go look it up, read about it yourself, and I'm not saying anything I said tonight is real, true, or, whatever, but that was just my research and jotted down and
Guys,
repeat.
gotta admit
So,
one thing. Looking for Bigfoot's getting old because there ain't nothing new happening in that community. It's the same thing
uh,
every day.
I've been laying low.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's red circles and bickering. So you got to have
And
some kind of
arrows.
other enjoyment.
So, yeah, well, I agree. I mean, I believe he's out there, but, um,
Who's out there?
let's just talk about,
This is a
something
nice
else.
break. This is a nice break from it.
Yeah. And if you believe it, if you don't, or whatever, we're just talking about it.
All right, well, we're going to jump. We hope you enjoyed our show. Please subscribe. Please like. If you want to leave a comment, please leave a comment, a nice comment. We don't need any rude people. I'm sure there's some out there, but we like nice comments. Um,
For this show, we like nice comments, please.
please share. We like to be shared around. We're trying to grow a little bit here too, trying to spread our wings out and let other people enjoy this. So, but we really appreciate everybody that is following us and everybody that does watch. Thank y'all very much for that. It means a lot to us.
Yes, it
We're
does.
not Hollywood. We're just two people and having a lot of fun doing this, and we appreciate the ones that support us doing it.
Yep.
Until next week, God bless y'all. Thank you so much.
God bless y'all. Thank you.